and welcome back to the Messy Bookshelf. I'm Jennifer and today I am doing a RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9 tag. This is a tag that I came up with myself, so let's just see how it goes. What I did was I went through all of the contestants on the Season 9 and I basically chose a book to use according to their style or their personality. So the first contestant is Alexis Michelle, and for this one, she is so beautiful. She's one of the first queens that really struck me. It's like, holy smoke, she's gorgeous. So for her, I chose a book with a gorgeous cover, and that is The 1000th Floor by Katharine McGee. I have not read this yet. I've heard mixed reviews on this one, but the cover is just so pretty and shiny, and the edging is also really nice, so it looks beautiful whether you face it or spine it. The next contestant is Eureka, and she's been known to seem a little bit like Ginger Minch, which is a previous contestant on Season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So I chose a book that is unique but very similar to something I've already read. And with that one, I chose Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Red Queen, I really enjoyed this book, but it takes the fun tropes of a bunch of other YA novels and kind of puts them all together in this really awesome way. So it seems kind of similar, but it's different and unique in its own way. The next contestant is Aja, and for Aja, she's a little bit edgy, but she's still really beautiful at the same time. So I chose a book that is beautifully written, but has an edgy side to it. And with that, I chose Looking for Alaska by John Green. I read this a long time ago, not quite 10 years ago, but as soon as this one came out, I wanted to pick it up because it was such a beautiful book, and I really should read it again because it has been that long. But it's a little bit edgy at the same time and a little bit dark at moments. So the next contestant is Sasha Velour, and she is so different from all the other contestants, and she kind of self-described one of her looks as very spacey. So I chose a book that is out of this world, and I chose Illuminate, the first book in the Illuminate files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This book is totally out of this world as it is set in space, but it's also told in a very different way than normal prose. It's told through pictures and messages and description of video feeds, so it's very interesting and definitely out of this world. The next contestant is Farrah Moan, and for this I chose a book that is just a little bit sexy because she's really sweet and cute but is trying to be sexy at the same time. So with that one, I chose A Court in Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I wasn't a huge fan of this first installment, but the second installment blew me out of the water, being one of my favorite books of last year, and this series is definitely sexy while being many other things at the same time. The next contestant is Shea Coulee. For this, I chose a book that is beautiful but also really well put together. Whether it's beautifully written, the plot, just basically everything about this book was perfect to a T, because Shea Coulee is always very put together, but she looks very beautiful and glamorous, but also different at the same time. So I went with Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This cover is absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, it's interrupted by all these beautiful awards. And the story is just so different than what I've read before this, and just so beautifully written, and will forever be one of my favorites. The next contestant is Trinity Taylor, and for this I wanted to choose a book that is about the South, but the only one that I could really think of was Rebel Belle, and I don't actually own a copy of this, so you can see the picture here of the cover. So as I don't own a copy, you're probably figured out. I also haven't read it, but I've heard that it's about a Southern belle that ends up being like an assassin or something. So I don't think Trinity Taylor is an assassin, although I do feel she may assassinate. The next contestant is James Mansfield, and for her, I chose a book that is really kooky but glamorous at the same time. So I went with Dumplin'. Now I actually have not read this one yet. I do plan on reading it, especially now since there's going to be a movie with Jennifer Aniston in it. But it's definitely intrigued me, and I'm really excited for Julie's new book, Ramona Blue. But this book, as far as I know, it tells a girl who's a bit on the bigger side who joins a pageant competition. So I feel like this one's going to be really funny and a bit of a trip to go through, and I feel like that is definitely James Mansfield. The next contestant is Kimora Black. Now, Kimora is a bit of a mystery to me. I've watched a few interviews with her and I really love her look and her style, but I don't really know a whole lot about her, so I decided to just leave it a mystery and chose a book that is a bit mysterious the entire time, and that is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This was such a fantastic book, and you're kind of left like trying to figure out what happened until the very end when you're like, holy smokes, it blows you out of the water, and I feel like Kimora is going to blow the competition out of the water. The next contestant is Charlie Hides, and Charlie is one of the oldest drag queens on the scene, definitely on RuPaul's Drag Race. She has been around for a while, so this is the oldest book on my shelf, and that is Animal Farm by George Orwell. This edition of it came out, was published in 1969. So this book is older than my mother. The next contestant is Peppermint, and Peppermint is the first trans woman drag queen to be on the show. So I chose a book that you're not exactly used to, but you enjoyed anyway. And for this one, I used A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihira. I absolutely love this book. It was definitely out of my comfort zone. For one, it's general fiction. It's a big tome. I probably would not have read this if it were not for the recommendation of a bunch of my coworkers, and I'm so glad that they recommended it to me because this was fantastic, just like I'm sure Peppermint will be. Hi, so while I was editing my video, I realized that I had forgotten an entire queen. The queen that I forgot was Valentina. She's actually one of my least favorite queens. I'm not entirely looking forward to seeing her this year. I don't know if it's because she's a baby or I just don't like her attitude, but either way, I ended up forgetting her, and for her, I chose a book, not that was forgettable, but that has a lot of growing to do, because I think she has a lot of growing to do. And for this one, I thought it was really relevant for me to choose Drag Teen by Jeffrey Self. This is the story of a young boy who gets convinced by his friends to enter a drag competition that he wants to enter, but is too nervous about. And throughout their road trip to the competition, he meets some people who are able to teach him about the drag world and become more confident and stuff. So I feel like for Valentina, RuPaul's Drag Race is going to be more of a learning experience than an actual she's gonna win because she's not. But anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program. And the last contestant, but not the least, is Nina Bonina Brown. She is very out there. Her drag style is so different from everyone else's, so graphic and colorful and a bit animalistic. So I chose a graphic novel with beautiful, colorful artwork, and for that one I chose Saga, which really fits because it's also out of this world, which Nina Bonina Brown's drag is very much out of this world, and the artwork is just absolutely beautiful in this book, and it's such a great story anyway, so I thought it would be perfect to match up with her. And that is it for the RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9 book tag. If you would like to do this tag, I'll leave the questions down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. I will see you next week. Bye!